Have you ever felt that awkward silence creeping into your conversations, making you wish you could just disappear? What if I told you that overcoming this challenge isn't about being a natural-born talker, but about learning a few simple, powerful skills that anyone can master? Imagine confidently speaking to anyone, anywhere, and always knowing exactly what to say. Welcome, English learners. This is Celine from English Journey, where we help you grow personally while mastering English. We release new videos every day to help you improve your English and change your life. Today, we're diving into a topic that many of you have asked about: how to be social and never run out of things to say. Before we jump into our story, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We have some incredibly powerful insights coming up, plus a short quiz at the end to test your understanding, so make sure to watch until the very end. The journey to becoming a confident conversationalist. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you meet someone new, and after the initial hello, you suddenly have nothing else to say? That awkward silence can feel like an invisible wall between you and others. It's uncomfortable, and it might even make you want to avoid meeting new people altogether. But what if I told you that you have everything you need to overcome this challenge? What if you could speak to anyone, anytime, and feel completely at ease? Understanding the roots of social anxiety. Many people believe they are naturally shy or socially awkward. They might think they were born socially handicapped. But that's not true. Humans are very social creatures. Think about a baby. They learn to speak simply by observing people around them, without anyone teaching them words directly. Our brains are incredibly good at recognizing patterns and rules in social interactions, which is what language is all about. So if you weren't born socially handicapped, why do you sometimes feel nervous or unsure in conversations? The simple answer is lack of practice. In modern times, we spend a lot of our time looking at screens, texting, and messaging. While texting is a form of communication, it misses hundreds of important cues present in real-life conversations, like body language, facial expressions, tone of voice, and eye contact. Talking in real life is like a completely different language. If you feel nervous, it's just because your brain hasn't had enough time to learn this language properly. You might be great at texting, but just barely passing at real-life talking. Social anxiety is actually a normal and even brilliant part of our evolutionary design. Your brain developed this response over millions of years to keep you safe in groups. In ancient times, being accepted by others was important for survival, because being rejected could mean death. That flutter in your stomach before meeting new people, that's your ancestors' survival instinct still working to protect you. Once you understand that social anxiety is normal, helpful, and experienced by everyone, it loses its power over you. It becomes your ally, not your enemy. The social muscle and micro skills. Think of social skills like physical muscles. The more you use them, the stronger they become. This isn't just a metaphor, it's how your brain works. When you practice social skills, you create new pathways in your brain that get stronger with each interaction. Just like a workout, the secret to improvement is starting small. Social skills can be broken down into tiny, learnable actions called micro skills. Making eye contact is one practice. Asking a follow-up question is another. Sharing a relevant story is yet another. Each of these builds your social strength. However, Remember that just like physical exercise, you need proper form and recovery time. Trying to become a social expert overnight is like trying to lift a very heavy weight on your first day at the gym. Your social muscles need time to grow. Start with short conversations, maybe just 5 minutes long. Practice one micro skill at a time. Celebrate your small successes. Even the most socially skilled people started exactly where you are now. They just kept practicing. Unlike physical muscles, social skills can keep growing stronger throughout your entire life. Every interaction is an opportunity to grow. The secret to never running out of things to say. So, how do you get better at talking to people and make sure you always have something to say? The secret for learning any language is simply to get more practice. You need to interact with more people and give your brain more chances to observe and learn the patterns and rules of this language of real-life conversation. One effective way to get this practice is to challenge yourself. For example, you could try a 100 interaction challenge, where you aim to interact with 100 people in a month. The interactions don't have to be long or deep. Even just saying hi and running away counts. Many people find that by simply asking for directions, they eventually move into deeper conversations. These seemingly simple interactions provide a lot of practice for your brain and can significantly boost your social skills. Remember this analogy. Watching videos to learn social skills is like watching videos to learn how to ride a bike. Videos can be helpful for understanding how bikes work, but the fastest way to learn is to simply get on the bike and start pedaling. You will probably fall many times, but eventually, you will learn to balance. The same is true for talking to people. You might have some awkward interactions at first, but eventually, you will learn the patterns and rules, what is appropriate, and how to speak smoothly. The key is to just go out there and start talking to more people. Overcoming the internal filter. One of the biggest reasons we feel like we run out of things to say is because of an internal filter. You haven't actually run out of things to say. You've just run out of things that pass your own test of things good enough to say to a stranger. This habit of holding back until you've checked if what you're about to say is cool, impressive, smart, and interesting can really stop you from developing your communication skills. The fix is quite simple. Practice removing this filter. This means practicing saying whatever comes into your mind without checking if it sounds cool. Start this practice with people you know a little bit, not complete strangers. It's fun to realize that it's okay to say what's on your mind as long as it's not extremely inappropriate. Most people are too focused on their own thoughts and filters to care how awesome what you're saying is. This idea is also related to filtering out the boring people. By letting your natural, unfiltered self show from the beginning, you can quickly find people who are truly compatible with you. If a funny idea or a different opinion comes to your mind, sometimes you should just say it instead of hiding it. If some people react positively, you've found potential new friends. The power of threading. Another very powerful technique is threading. This means branching off a conversation in different directions. Imagine someone says, "I went to London last year to intern for 6 months." You could ask if they liked London, which company they worked for, or what their field of work is. Or you could change the focus and say, "Really? I went to London last year too." Or, "I'd like to visit London one day. I love traveling." You can continue the conversation in many ways by following these threads. You could keep talking about London, or discuss the company, or share your own internship experiences. You could literally talk for hours, just from that one simple response. The key is to be creative and remember to remove your filter. Conversational threading is how you make any conversation flow naturally. Think of each sentence someone speaks as having multiple threads you can pull on, each leading to a new and interesting direction. For example, if someone says, "I just got back from a business trip to Japan," you have at least 4 threads: the business, travel experiences, Japan itself, and the timing, just got back. Each thread is a door to a deeper conversation. Active listening, the most powerful skill. The most powerful social skill is not talking, but listening. Specifically, it's about listening for 70% of the conversation and speaking for only 30%. When you let someone speak about themselves, their brain releases chemicals that make them feel good. You are literally giving their brain a reward by listening. But real listening is more than just being quiet. Your brain should be fully focused on understanding their words, their tone of voice, and the meaning behind what they say, not just waiting for your turn to speak or planning your next response. When you listen in this way, people feel truly understood. They will naturally want to know more about you, and they will remember conversations with you as meaningful because you gave them your complete attention. Pay attention to the details. Notice how their voice changes when they talk about certain topics. Watch their energy levels go up and down. Listen for the small words they emphasize. These small clues tell you what is truly important to them. Remember, every time you choose to listen more and speak less, you are building deeper connections. This is the true power of the 70-30 rule. The Pratfall effect, being imperfectly likable. Here's a psychological tip that can make you instantly more likable and easy to talk to. The Pratfall effect. This effect states that your likability increases if you are not perfect. When people see that you are not perfect and you make mistakes, you appear more human, more like them, and therefore more likable. Perfect people can seem threatening, but imperfect people feel safe and are easier to like. If you want to be liked and easy to talk to, make mistakes sometimes, or simply admit to them. Of course, do this in safe situations, not in front of your boss where it might cause problems. The beauty of this tip is that it works perfectly with removing your filter. When you remove your filter, you will say things that come to your mind, and you will naturally make small mistakes or blunders. When you do this, the pratfall effect will start to work its magic. People will like you more, and they will open up more easily because you seem more human. This will give you more threads to continue the conversation, leading to deeper conversations and increased likability. It's a positive cycle where things only get easier. Curiosity as a superpower. It's not just about asking questions. It's about being truly interested in discovering what makes each person unique. Curiosity is like a muscle you can strengthen. Think of each person as a book with 1,000 pages. Most people only read the cover, but when you are genuinely curious, you start discovering chapters filled with surprising stories and ideas. Every single person you meet knows something you don't. The secret is asking questions that open new doors. Instead of, "How was your day?" try, What was the most interesting part of your day? Watch how people's faces light up when they realize you genuinely want to know the real answer. Your curiosity creates a powerful cycle. The more interested you are, the more interesting things you learn. And the more you learn, the more naturally curious you become. People feel this authentic interest, and they automatically open up more. When you are genuinely curious, social anxiety often disappears completely. Why? Because your focus shifts from yourself to discovering something new about them. Your brain becomes too busy being fascinated to be anxious. Remember, every person you meet is like a walking library of experiences and stories. Your curiosity is the key that unlocks all of it. And the more you use this key, the more doors it can open. Practical strategies for being more social. Here are some additional methods to help you become more social and confident in conversations. Be outside of your head. Have you ever been in a group and felt unsure when to speak or what to say? This is overthinking or getting in your head. You think about a thought, filter it, imagine yourself saying it, modify it, and then finally mumble it when the conversation has already moved on. Being outside of your head means simply taking in the conversation, getting thoughts, and just saying them without overthinking. Even if you say something that feels a bit awkward, see it as practice, not a failure. Don't force it. Don't feel pressured to force friendships with people who don't genuinely like you. Pressure leads to anxiety, which stops you from being your natural self. If you have nothing in common with someone, it's okay to be nice and then move on. Making friends is often a numbers game. As long as you talk to new people, you will eventually make new friends. Be the main character. People who have the most friends often start conversations the most. Initiate conversations with almost any sentence you can think of, assuming everyone wants to talk to you. But remember, after you start, don't just talk about yourself. Ask simple questions about people's lives, listen, and then ask follow-up questions that show you listened. This is crucial because eventually, people will start initiating conversations with you. Be a side character. One of the best pieces of advice for social skills is that people are usually most interested in themselves. If you want someone to like you, make them feel important, compliment them, use their name when you talk to them, act happy when they enter a room, remember things about them, and ask questions about them as if their life is very important to you. Be the transparent friend. Sometimes conversations stay polite and safe, with no one sharing deeper thoughts or emotions. This makes it hard to build trust. Try to make your conversations more transparent, and this doesn't mean sharing your deepest secrets immediately, but a great start is simply saying, "Hey, do you want to hang out sometime?" This shows you think the other person is cool and helps break down the wall between you. The injury update. People appreciate it when you show empathy for their difficulties. Instead of just asking, "How are you?" which often gets a good or fine, directly ask if anything has been bothering them recently. Maybe they have a physical injury, need to complain about someone, or are just having a bad day and need to talk. You don't need to be a therapist. Just show that you care. The group chat. If you meet new people often but struggle to turn them into friends, try creating a group chat. If you have a good time with 3 or 4 people during an activity, immediately suggest creating a group chat. You can say it's so you can get together and do the same thing again soon. This way, You get everyone's contact information, and even if the chat becomes quiet, you still have people you can ask to hang out with later. Do them a favor. Friendship often involves two people providing value to each other. When you meet new people, try to understand how you could be valuable to them. Maybe you are an expert in something they need help with, or you share a common interest. If they return the favor or act very nicely towards you, they might be a good potential friend. Ask them for a favor. Asking someone for a small favor can also build connection. For example, could you tell me where this place is? Or, could you watch my stuff for a minute? This shows you trust them, and it allows them to feel helpful and generous without much effort. People like to feel useful. However, don't constantly expect favors without giving back. That's not friendship. Pickup line, general questions. If you are in a group of strangers and need to start a conversation quickly, think of a general question that almost everyone could answer. Then, approach different people and ask that question. This is easy because you know what to say, and everyone will have a different answer that can naturally lead to a conversation. This opens the door for you to ask more specific questions about where they are from, who they know, and what they like to do. The ISO play. If you are in a large group and feel overwhelmed by having to talk to everyone, try an ISO play. This means finding someone in the group who isn't talking much and starting a side conversation with them. You can make up an excuse to move away, like asking them to help you with something. This makes them feel special. If you do this over time with everyone in the group, you will eventually get to know everyone well. Act like you're already friends. There's a saying, if you go looking to find friends, you'll find very few. But if you go looking to be a friend, you'll find many. Instead of trying to find people who will treat you like a friend, treat people like a friend as soon as you meet them. Skip the awkward polite stage and go straight to acting like you've known them for a while. This means being enthusiastic when you see them, playfully teasing them, saying their name often, and generally treating them like a longtime friend. This is a very powerful method, but remember to be careful not to be weird. The activity buddy. When you meet someone, ask them about something they've always wanted to do but haven't. Then offer to do that activity with them. This is a way of asking them to hang out that doesn't seem desperate because you're framing it as doing them a favor. Plus, it's a perfectly normal reason to ask for their contact information, and it works on almost everyone. Building deeper connections. Once you start these conversations, how do you make them deeper and more meaningful? Question funnel. The question funnel helps open any conversation naturally. Think of it like a funnel that starts wide and gets more specific. Begin with broad, easy questions, then naturally move to deeper, more interesting ones. Start with simple facts, then move to opinions, and finally explore feelings and experiences. Each question builds on the previous answer, creating a natural flow. For example, what kind of work do you do? Leads to, what made you choose that field? Which then flows into, what's the most challenging part of your job? Notice how each question becomes more interesting. This is not random. It's strategic curiosity. Echo effect and body language. The echo effect is about creating natural harmony in conversation. When people connect deeply, their breathing, gestures, and energy levels naturally align. You can gently help this process. If someone speaks softly, slightly lower your volume. If they are energetic, gradually raise your energy. If they lean in, gently mirror that. The key is to be subtle. This is not mimicking, but matching. When you subtly match someone's energy and body language, Their brain registers you as safe. Your body naturally wants to synchronize with others. You are just allowing it to happen. This isn't manipulation. It's making your natural connection abilities stronger. Social momentum and consistency. Social momentum works like physics. Once you are moving, it's easier to keep moving. This is why socially successful people socialize consistently. Think of social skills like a car engine. When you start it after a long break, it's cold and awkward. But if you keep it running, it gets smoother and more efficient. Small, consistent social interactions create more momentum than rare, big ones. A 5-minute conversation every day builds more skill than a 5-hour party once a month. Your brain needs regular, consistent practice. Look for daily opportunities to build momentum, like brief chats with neighbors, store clerks, or coworkers. Each small interaction keeps your social engine warm and running. Open loops. A powerful part of threading is combining it with open loops. An open loop is an unfinished story or idea that keeps someone engaged. Your brain naturally wants to complete unfinished patterns. For example, while discussing one thread, casually mention something interesting about yourself, but don't finish the story. Their brain will want to come back to it. Then, explore other threads before returning to complete the loop. This creates a natural, engaging conversation flow. Context banking and permission structures. Context banking is about remembering important details from conversations to create natural ways to reconnect later. During conversations, your brain naturally picks up key information like future plans.